So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we're talking about fitness, right? We're talking about the gym. And he was sharing how he's too busy to go to the gym. He's like, bro, I'm super busy. My life is crazy. I don't have time to go to the gym. And I'm like, all right, like, okay, if that's what you're saying. And then he also said on top of that, he was saying how gym memberships are overpriced and he's not going to pay for a gym membership. So then I'm like, okay, let's break this down a little bit. All right. So you're not saying that you don't have time to work out. You're just saying that you don't see the value in working out. You're also not saying that you don't have the funds for a gym membership because you could go to the gym, but or afford a gym membership. What you're saying is you don't see the value in a gym membership. Because this guy, right? He's the one that love him, but he's going to Chick-fil-A like every other day. Shout out Chick-fil-A. Nothing against Chick-fil-A. Jesus chicken is good. But he's going to Chick-fil-A like every other day. Chipotle, he's eating out practically every day and wasting time, right? He's a gamer, he's playing video games. So he's spending the money and he's spending the time. So he's spending the money eating out every day that he could use for a gym membership. And he's spending the time that he says he doesn't have by playing video games, watching YouTube, scrolling on social media. So it's not that he doesn't have the time. It's that he's not investing his time. So he's already spending his time and his money. He's just not investing his time and his money yet. And so, how I see these two different things, investing time, this concept, investing time and spending time, is investing time is we're thinking long term. We're thinking what's beneficial for me in the long term, right? Think about investing for your retirement account. You're not putting in $200 a month thinking that that $200 in a week is going to turn into $200,000. But in 15, 20 years, you're expecting that, right? So you're thinking long term. When we're spending time, we're thinking short term, right? Short term gratification. And that serves a purpose, right? It's great sometimes just sitting on the couch and watching Netflix, watching a TV show, watching a movie. There's nothing wrong with that. But if our primary focus in life is short term gain, right? Spending our time and spending our money, there's going to be some negative consequences that come from that in the long run. Whereas when we invest our time in things that are beneficial for us, right, or add value to us, such as working out, eating right, hanging out with people that bring us joy. This is other thing too that I wanted to share, or there's this study that I wanted to share, because when my boy said that he doesn't have the time and all this stuff, I Googled. I wanted to know, all right, how are we as Americans, right? How are we spending our time? And check this out, right? So there's a study. Netflix. Average American is watching 1 hour per day. So that's 7 hours per week of Netflix. And that's 28 hours per month. So we're watching 1 hour per day, minimum, or on average, which is 7 hours per week. And it's 28 hours per month. So when we say we don't have time, that's false. What we should say is we're wasting our time. I'm wasting my time. I'm not investing my time. Or I told my boy is, bro, don't say you don't have the time. Just say you don't see the value in making time and working out and doing things that are more beneficial for you from my perspective, right? So that's Netflix. YouTube. Men, this is, I didn't get any studies for the ladies, but men ages 18 through 34 are watching 2 hours of YouTube per day. 2 hours per day, 14 hours per week, 55 hours per month on YouTube. 2 hours per day, 14 per week, 55 or 56 hours per month. That's a lot of time. Lot of time. So when we say we don't have time to do XYZ, I think it's better. I think we're better off saying, hey, I'm not willing to make the time for this specific thing. The difference between spending time and investing time is when we're investing time, we're expecting a return, right? We're expecting an ROI, return on investment, long term investment. When we're spending our time, we're thinking more short term gratification. And again, short-term spending like serves a purpose. If we're scrolling on social for a little bit, it serves a purpose because it's mindless, right? It helps us decompress. Or if we're watching 2-3 hours of TV, that serves a purpose. So the question isn't, does it serve a purpose? The question really is this helping you become the person you want to become in the long run? And I think that's a good filter to have. And it's a filter I see things through and often have to catch myself and realign with that filter of, is this going to add value to me? Is this an investment or am I spending my time? Investing our time versus spending our time. So why should we invest our time, invest our money, invest in ourselves? Really, my response to this is simple. It's because you're worth it. I'm worth it. You're worth the investment. I believe I'm worth the investment. You're worth the investment of taking that risk, right? Or my advice, right? And I got this from a mentor when I was younger was invest in yourself because you're worth the investment. And when I asked him, what does this look like? And there was a conference we were talking about me potentially going to. It was a business conference, communication conference. And it was like $1,000. And I remember talking to my mentor about it. And I was like, bro, that's a lot of money. Like, I'm still in college. I don't know if I can afford that. And I remember him saying, well, it's certainly an investment, right? Right. And this is like he's a middle-aged guy. And he's like, it's certainly an investment, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely an investment. And he goes, well, do you think you're worth the investment? I was like, dang, I guess I'm going to this conference, right? And so that's the advice I want to give to you is you're worth the investment. And you might not always get the ROI right away. But if you keep investing in yourself, right, planting those seeds, eventually those seeds will grow, right? You'll bear fruit from it. And so invest in yourself. You're worth the investment. And if you're thinking, all right, well, where do I start? Invest in that course. Invest in that book, right? Invest in that conference. Invest in coaching. If you're someone who's saying, easy for you to say, like, you don't know my life, you don't know what my financial situation is, valid. You're right, I don't. And we all have different socioeconomic statuses, right? So that's valid. However, there's HubSpot courses, right, that you can take. My videographer consumes those, loves those. So there's courses that are free of charge that you can take. Harvard has some courses online that you can take that's free on a bunch of different topics. LinkedIn has a bunch of different free courses that I've taken that could add value to you. So if we're looking for an excuse, we can find it. And the thing with excuses too, right? Walk with me on this. This is my train of thought on it. Is excuses are valid, right? Like oftentimes there's some excuses that make sense. Why can't you get to the gym? Man, because I just worked a 14-hour shift and I'm exhausted. Valid. But can you go for a 20-minute walk? Can you do a set of 3 for 10 reps of push-ups? Like, can you do that? And so the thing with excuses is that oftentimes they're valid and they make sense. Why were you late to the meeting? There was a lot of traffic and there was an accident. Valid excuse, but also could you have left earlier? Right? So the way I think, my train of thought is personal responsibility and controlling what we can control. And I think investing in ourselves is worth it because I think we're worth it. Now, to conclude, there's a few books that I just want to recommend for you. One is Atomic Habits by James Clear. In that book, he talks about how we rise or fall to the level of our systems, not just our goals. I think that's a worthy investment because it'll help you think more strategically and not just about writing goals, but about changing your lifestyle so it's conducive to you to achieve your goals. Another book I would recommend is The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John Maxwell. It's a phenomenal book. Truthfully, I don't think an author has affected my life more positively than John Maxwell. You can pick up almost any John Maxwell book and it'll add value to you. Truthfully, I think he's that good and is able to break down concepts so well. So invest in yourself. You're worth the investment. In investing our time, investing our money is long-term thinking. Spending our time is more short-term thinking, which serves a purpose, but we should think long-term and invest in ourselves because we're worth it. So with that being said, if this added value to you, Please like, subscribe, and share with someone who you think could benefit from this content. Investing in yourself because you're worth it. Peace.